How well do you know British slang and idioms? Because sometimes it can be really tricky to understand when somebody says something really unexpected. And in this lesson, you're going to learn 20 classic bits of informal British language. But we're going to learn it in a fun way because joining me is a very special guest. It's my wife.
Hello.
Now, Luciana is from Brazil. So these are classic British expressions. And what we're going to do is omit one word. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the expression, omit one word, and you need to tell me what word is missing. I'm also going to tell you the definition so you can learn as well. Now, you've been living here for a while.
Yeah, 4 years, isn't it?
4 years. I've picked some really tricky ones. How well do you think you're going to do out of 20?
I'm scared.
You're scared? You sound panicked.
I'm scared.
It's meant for fun, but you can play as well. That's going to be the best part. Let us know in the comments how many out of 20 you get right. So the first one is, I've got them all on my phone.
So I can't.
You can't see.
Peek. No.
As much use as a teapot. So, that guy is as much use as a teapot.
As much use as an old teapot.
As much use as a...
An old teapot.
No.
That's a great start.
Great start. As much use as a chocolate teapot.
Oh, because it melts.
Yes.
Oh.
It's basically saying somebody is useless or something is useless. Like, Derek is as much use as a chocolate teapot.
Oh, gosh. I thought I was going to go well on this one.
No. Number 2. Did you get that right? Let us know. So at the moment, Luciana is, well, let's try with number 2. This one's a bit easier, I think. Okay. Well, that's really thrown a in the works.
I know this one. It's a spinner, isn't it?
Not a spinner.
A spinning, though.
Spanner. Spanner. That's close enough. I'll give you that one. That's well done. So if something throws a spanner in the works, it basically creates a problem in which something can't be fulfilled, like a plan. So we have this big plan, like to have a birthday party outside, and then suddenly it starts raining. And we say, that's really thrown a spanner in the works. In other words, it's created a problem.
Okay, I knew the meaning of it, and I heard that before, but I got confused.
No, you did well there. I think you did well. Like I said, this is a tricky one. Okay, I'll give you the definition as well. It takes 2 to
Tango.
Oh,
Tango. I know.
Tango. It takes 2 to tango. 2 out of 3. Well done. So if you say it takes 2 to tango, it basically means both parties involved in a situation or like a problem or an argument are equally responsible for it. So, with kids you get, it's his fault, he said this, he said that. No, it takes 2 to tango. In other words, both of you are equally responsible for the problem.
Okay.
How are you feeling? Confident?
No.
I've picked some tricky ones that, I'm pretty sorry. Don't look.
I'm not looking. I swear.
And do let us know how you're doing. I'm going to give you a special one just for you at the end as well, so you can let us know how well you know British informal expressions. Number 3 is, it's all swings and...
roundabouts.
Oh! Very good. That's not the number 3. That's number 4, isn't it? 3 out of 4. It's all swings and roundabouts. If we say it's all swings and roundabouts, it's like a situation in which sort of different actions, different options, different options, they result in no eventual gain and no eventual loss. So it's like it balances out in the end. Sometimes my friend, we go to the pub and he might buy a drink and they might buy a second drink. I'll say, oh, hey, it's my round. And he'll say, no, it's all swings and roundabouts in the end. In other words, you'll get the other ones in the future.
It's like the order of the factors don't change the results, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have this expression?
What?
The order of the factors don't change the results.
The order of the facts don't change the results.
The factors.
The order of the factors don't change.
Like
no, but I love it. I understand what it means. I love it.
Because we're saying Portuguese.
Okay. Idioms don't translate very well, which is why we're teaching these expressions, because otherwise you would have expressions like it takes more than, there's more than one way to skin a cat, which means there's more than one way to do things. But that doesn't translate well in your language.
No.
No. Okay. So, this one I'm going to give you more context. Imagine that I am hungover. I have a really bad hangover. In other words, I've been drinking the night before. I don't drink, to be honest, but imagine I've been drinking the night before and the next morning I have a hangover. I might say, I need a hair of the...
Dog.
A hair of the dog. What is the hair of the dog? Or the hair of the dog?
It is a tiny bit of the same drink that you drink on the night before, like to cure the hangover.
Ridiculous, really. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It doesn't have to be the same drink, though. It could be like, you've been drinking beer all night and you have wine in the morning. I couldn't think of anything worse. But we sometimes say a hair of the dog or the hair of the dog. I'm not going to ask if you've done that. Anyway, so let's move on. What number are we on? 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. More context you're going to need. My wife is pregnant. She is up the...
Up the beat.
I thought you'd know this one. No, up the duff.
Up the duff.
Yeah, up the duff means pregnant. It's quite
Does
informal.
it?
Yeah, it's quite informal. I wouldn't necessarily use... The doctor wouldn't use it. Oh, when did you get up the duff?
Breaking news, I'm up the duff.
Yeah, it's very informal. Some people might not like it, but that's what it means.
Okay.
I wouldn't hear, you wouldn't hear the doctor using it, but with my friends down the pub, oh, guess what? My wife's up the duff.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, if somebody's really, really inquisitive, very inappropriately inquisitive, we might call them a nosy...
Bugger.
Bugger is a slightly rude word in English, yes. Yeah, it's fine, you get away with that. We even use that with, it's not going to cause any offence, but no, that's not... You could actually say he's a nosy bugger. I should have probably done the other word. The more...
So it's not wrong.
The more, PG version is a nosy Parker.
Okay. No.
Somebody who's very, very nosy, very inquisitive, to the point of being a bit inappropriate, really. If somebody's either a bit stupid or, not the most intelligent person you've ever met, or even a bit crazy, you could say, he's a few sandwiches short of a...
You got
Wait.
like very difficult ones.
I did, because
I thought that you were going to go with like piece of cake and stuff like that.
No, because that would be a piece of cake or a walk in the park, wouldn't it? Both mean that same thing.
Sandwich.
A few sandwiches short of a... This should be on the Life in the UK test. All these tests about like, when did Boudica do X, Y, and Z? When was Hadrian's Wall built? We should be asking a few sandwiches short of a...
Box.
Box? It's good. Where do you have sandwiches?
Well, they come in the box from meal deal. Sandwiches short
There we go.
of meal deal.
A few sandwiches short of a meal deal. No. It's a few sandwiches short of a picnic.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Okay. If something is an absolute bargain,
I like that. I like bargains.
we could say that's as cheap as...
It looks. Wait, let me think. This is as cheap as...
What's very popular in the UK and very cheap?
Nothing. Even the water
Good point.
is
End of video.
expensive.
Even the what? Breathing.
What is cheap in the UK?
Okay, I'm going to tell you.
What is...
Cheap as chips.
Okay.
Yeah, cheap as chips means very, really, really cheap. Absolute bargain. Oh, that's as cheap as chips. I'll have 2.
All right.
And number 10...
I'm really not going well with this.
I don't even know what your score is anymore. You can let us know what her score is and let us know what your score is. The competition is finished, isn't it? I picked some really hard ones. Next one, we'll make it a piece of cake.
I'm trying to prove me that I need to watch your course.
Well, if you do want to learn English, real British English, you could always check out my courses.
Yeah, I
Very
should
good.
At some point.
You watch the pronunciation ones, and you do watch. We have a membership to the English Right Now membership. This is good lead in, that was. So if you want to master British pronunciation in a modern British RP accent, that's what you're listening to from me. You want to master British slang and idioms, the real expressions we use, like cheap as chips, culture, talking about British culture, because these expressions are more than culture, and also have live sessions with me in groups on Zoom, conversation club, and also a question and answer session. There's more information down in the comments below.
Yes, check this out. Because as you can see, sometimes living in the country is not enough to just like get the idioms and stuff. You actually need to watch the lessons, which I should.
So number 10, you've made a real mess of that. You've made a real dog's out of that. Be polite, don't say anything rude. You've made a real dog's out of that. So imagine like you're working.
Dinner.
Well done. Dog's dinner. If something is a dog's dinner, it just means it's a real mess. God, you made a real dog's dinner out of that. Or that's a real dog's dinner. You don't need the full, you could just say, oh, you've made that's a real dog's dinner. And we're at the halfway point. I've lost score. We'll write the score on the board on here anyway, so it looks seamless. Look at how well Luciana's doing.
Can we not edit later on?
Won't just get them all right. Not sure that works in real life. I'm not sure that's fair. Any of these idioms sound similar in Portuguese?
I don't think so.
You don't say it looks like a dog's dinner, like comida de cão.
No.
Você faz comida de cão disso.
No. But yeah, I should start using it though.
You should. I think your family and friends would love it.
Start a new trend.
Just translating directly. That's a terrible thing to do. Don't listen to her.
Yeah,
because idioms don't travel very well. There's a good example, isn't there? Kick the bucket.
Yes.
Kick the bucket in Portuguese.
Like, it means you give up or to
Quit.
exaggerate.
Yeah. Could you give us an example in Portuguese?
Well, that is very controversial because I know that where I come from, people saying that way, and I already received lots of hate comments of people from Portugal and other
Welcome to
states,
the internet.
And other states from Brazil saying like, nobody say it like that. But in my state, in Belo Horizonte, Minas Gerais, people can say that they kick the bucket when they are on a diet and then they give up on the diet and they said like, oh, I ate a lot of chocolate, I kicked the bucket.
In English, kick the bucket means die. He kicked the bucket. It's very informal. So you wouldn't want to translate that directly. If you told me, oh, yes, I kicked the bucket, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'd worry that you thought you were dead. Okay, so let's move on to number 11. At the end, I'm going to test you with one. Number 11 is, I feel really sick. I think I've got the dreaded...
Dreaded flu.
Well, that's the meaning. The dreaded lurgy.
Okay.
Sometimes we just talk about... okay, lurgy. Lurgy just means a general illness. The dreaded lurgy is like a really kind of intense cold or flu, usually.
But that's an idiom.
Well, it's an informal British expression, which is what this lesson was all about, my darling.
Oh, okay.
Lurgy. No, I'm not cutting any of this. It's perfect. Okay, I feel like I'm leaning in a little bit. I'm getting...
It's because the sun is starting
Yes.
to reach us.
Don't exaggerate. Don't over the pudding.
Don't overeat the pudding.
Overeat?
Yeah.
No.
Don't overcook the pudding.
No. Just going to keep saying no till you get the word. What do chickens lay?
Eggs.
Yep, correct. Well done. Don't over-egg the pudding. If you over-egg the pudding...
Why?
Add too many eggs to the pudding. Makes it horrible. I don't know. It basically means exaggerate.
Okay.
Don't be too intense. Don't go over the top. Don't egg... It's really, oh, all right, mate. Don't over-egg the pudding.
Yeah, can you put some easy ones?
It is a piece of...
Cake.
Well done. Yeah, do you want another one? That you know.
What?
I don't know. It's a walk in the...
Park.
Number 3. The ball is in your...
Court.
Yeah. I'm really not enjoying
I'm
these.
feeling more confident.
Well done. Don't beat about the...
Bushes.
No, just bush.
The bush.
I heard it on the
Grapevine.
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 All of those will be in the free PDF, by the way, if you really want to learn those. But those aren't on the list of 20, darling. If somebody's really meddling with your business or maybe getting a bit too aggressive, a little bit, as we say in slang, here's a bonus one, shirty. They're getting a bit shirty. They're getting a bit aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a bit too in your business. We could say, wind your in. Wind your in. I say this a lot. This worries me that you don't know this one. You need to wind your...
Own business.
No, that's pretty much what it means. Mind your own...
No.
Wind your... What's your head attached to?
Neck.
Yeah, wind your neck in. It means stop meddling in my business. Mate, you need to wind your neck in. In other words, your opinion is not valid here. If somebody's really annoying and constantly tries to annoy you, we could say they are a wind-up. Think of an old word for somebody who sells things.
Wind-up seller.
Close. A wind-up merchant.
Oh.
Wind-up merchant. Oh, he's really annoying. He's constantly trying to annoy me. He's a wind-up merchant.
Oh.
Somebody who talks a lot.
This video is going really badly. Please don't.
And that's the end of the lesson. No, we've got more than this.
Guys, be nice to me on the comments.
I'm actually going to give you 3 bonus ones at the end, I think. I'm not a
YouTuber. I'm not used to the hate. Don't send
Yeah, they can't hate you for this. They can hate me for this. I don't know. But this is helping you as well. You're learning. Because now you know it's the dreaded... So every lesson... She can watch this lesson back, as can you, on repeat, over and over again.
I have baby brain.
Because you're up the... Duff.
Duff.
Yeah, well done.
The duff.
Okay, somebody who talks a lot, you could say they can talk the hind legs off a... Oh.
Off a donkey.
Yes. Talk the hind legs off a donkey. I love my wife too much to let her not get this right. If you talk the hind legs off a donkey, it means you talk a lot. He's all mouth and no... What am I wearing on my legs?
No,
I'm wearing something on my leg. What? What am I wearing on my legs?
All mouth and no trousers.
All mouth and no trousers. It basically means they talk a lot, but they don't do any make any. There's no action. It's like saying to somebody, "Oh, don't worry about him. He sounds aggressive, but he won't do anything." All mouth and no trousers. If you say, "I don't care," you could also say, "I don't give." No, hang on a minute. That could be no. There's a rude one there. There's a rude one.
Reply then.
Yeah.
YouTube's not gonna like this.
It's an animal. I don't give a
Donkey.
Oh, close. In terms of spelling, not pronunciation. Not a donkey, but a live in the trees.
A monkey.
I don't give a monkeys. I don't give a monkeys. Mean I don't care.
Actually, I know this one.
Similar to making a dog's dinner out of something, if you also make an absolute mess or like just a terrible situation, you do something so badly wrong in a process that it cocks it up, you could say, "You have made a right pig's out of it."
It's not going to be dinner again, is it?
Not pig's dinner. It's part of their body.
Pigs.
On their head.
On their head?
Mm-hmm. You have 2 of them.
Pig's eyes?
No. What else do you have 2 of on your head?
Ears?
Yeah. If you make a right pig's ear out of something or just of something, it basically means you make a complete mess of something. If you're overreacting and being a bit dramatic, as maybe a bit too emotional, a bit too much, and a bit tense and stressed out and all like overly dramatic, we could say you've got your in a twist.
Hair.
No.
In a twist.
Makes sense, but it's actually you've got your knickers in a twist. Knickers is a slightly old word for women's underwear. Sometimes you hear it, but this expression still exists. You've got your knickers in a twist.
Okay.
It's like all confused and overly dramatic and overly anxious and stressed. Finally, number 20, before we get on to your test. Number 20 is if something was really enjoyable and very successful, we could say that went down a...
Went down a treat.
That went down a treat. So if something goes down a treat, it's really successful. Like, oh, what you did at the party, that cake, it went down a treat. Or, oh, you wishing him happy birthday, oh, it just went down a treat. Well done. So, well done. Out of 20, you got this many. How do you feel about your score that we don't know? How do you feel?
Awful.
So that's nearly the end of the lesson. But what I will say now is time for 3. I was going to do 1, but 3. Going to do 3. And you can let me know the answers down in the comments. First of all, if something is a definite success and something will definitely succeed, we would say it's in the I'll give you ABC. Bag, chair, cupboard. Bag, chair, or cupboard. It's in the It's going to be a success. I'll let you know the answers down in the comments as well. Number 2 is, despite something sounding crazy, absurd, there is in fact a structure or a reasoning behind it. We could say there is a method to, or sometimes in, my
I wish that you had asked me this one.
You know this one, do you?
I know this one.
Well, don't give it away. Is it A, insanity, B, madness, or C, method? There's a method in my method, there's a method in my madness, or there's a method in my insanity. A, B, or C. And finally, if you suggest that someone is lacking intelligence or common sense, you could say they are not playing with a full Is it A, deck, B, hand, or C, locker? Let me know the answers down in the comments, and I will let you know as well in the pinned comments what the answers are. But don't cheat. You can let me know how many out of 20 you got right, and also how many out of those 3 you got right as well. Well, thank you very much for joining me today on this very special lesson. What have you learnt?
Lots of things.
I thought you were going to say never to do it again.
They probably will ask me to never do it again, to be honest.
No, you're going to be a regular star on this channel. So thank you very much. There's more information down below in the PDF that you can also download as well. There's lots of those and all those bonus ones as well. But thank you very much for watching us today.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in the next
lesson. Well, you will. I don't know if I will be back.
She's brave enough. We'll see you in the next lesson. Thanks, guys.